Oh my god. Hey. Okay, what's up though? Hey. It's me, your girl crush, the one and only, your favorite delusional, wacky, spiritual, pagan yapper. And you know, I'm sure you can tell that my cats also get it from their mama. They love to talk. They love it, and I love it for them. I thought we could just like hang out a little and just like talk and like maybe, I don't know, maybe just like talk about our perspectives and see like what it is that, you know, maybe sets us apart, what makes us similar. There's so many things that, you know, we as individuals, like, I think the very basis of like what we're supposed to do on this earth, everyone has like a different answer about like what our purpose is and like what we need to be doing in order to be our best self. And truthfully, like my answer to that every single time is going to be, you have to be learning. I'm a learner. I'm a studious bitch. I used to have such a fear of like failure. I was like so scared of messing up, like making mistakes, not succeeding at something right away. I think that stemmed from a place where I felt like if I wasn't able to do it the first time, then what's to say that I could ever be able to do it? You know? What's to say that I'm able to like get past that barrier? And like, I think all of my like thinking and my framing of how everything plays out in my life changed when I realized that like, ignore the fact that I say like every sentence, but when I realized that every single mistake that I've ever made has kind of had like a domino effect, where it's one thing happens and then it trickles down until at the very end, I finally am like, that's what I was supposed to be doing. You know? I talk about this all the time, and people, it sounds weird when I phrase it, okay? So just like bear with me when I'm saying this. I used to think it was because of how my mental state was that this would keep happening over and over and over again. But I've noticed that every year of my life, even it's crazy too, because if you really pay attention, I think paying to synchronicities is so important. I truthfully am a firm believer. I don't believe in coincidence. I really don't. I don't believe in coincidence. When I see, like for example, that feeling of like, oh my god, I'm about to like go do this thing, but I just like suddenly remember that I forgot something. And so I go back. There's a reason that I went back and didn't go out immediately, you know? There's a reason for everything. Even if it doesn't make sense at that time, sometimes it'll make sense later down the road, and sometimes it'll never make sense. But that's like the beautiful thing about life. Like, it shouldn't have to make sense. It really shouldn't. And if you expect everything to be so clearly like dictated for you and like written out and in instructions, then you are missing the whole point of what life is about. See, the thing that I learned is that the mistakes and the cycles that I go through, every year I go through the same cycles. I go through the same problems at around the same times of the year. And they're different every year. They're different kinds of problems. But I've noticed too, that even though I go through those problems every single year, every year it also gets so much easier to manage it. Every single year, I'm learning new ways to be able to keep my cool and keep my calm. You know, I used to be such a reactive person. I used to react to everything. I used to freak out in little moments, and I'm gonna be honest, and still sometimes I have my moments where I get overstimulated, and when I get overstimulated, I get reactive. I can't help that. I'm making like active efforts into when I am overstimulated, I tell my loved ones, well, almost choked on my Air One organic chicken tenders. What? Y'all know I'm Air One queen. I'm so sorry. I just have to plug it. Anyways, I just kind of tell my loved ones, I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm kind of overstimulated right now. So, I know you can hear the shift in my voice where I'm starting to sound stressed out. I'm overstimulated. Just give me like 5 minutes, and then you can tell me whatever it is you're about to tell me. I just need 5 minutes. I communicate that. I need that. And, you know, it's like, it's so amazing because genuinely, in the past year of my life, I've had the least amount of like reactive instances. You know, I used to freak out when I was driving. I don't know if you know this about me. I have totaled 2 cars in 6 months last year. I totaled 2 cars in 6 months. Those 2 accidents caused me to be severely traumatized from driving. Now, mind you, I know what you're gonna say, oh my God, you're such a bad driver, stop driving. Those accidents weren't my fault. I was not at fault for either of those accidents. Even now, when I look back, I also still think those accidents were kind of for a reason. Because when I look back at before those accidents, I also still had a lot of anxiety when it came to driving. I wasn't confident in myself. You know, those accidents, at first, I was fully on board with like never driving again. Ever. I don't know how much y'all know about me. You might not, this might be your first time ever coming across me, or you might know so many little random tidbits of my life. Either way, I'm excited to share this with you. I work a lot with the Greek pantheon. I mainly only work with Hecate and Hermes, if I'm being completely honest. Like, those are my 2, like, Hecate is my matron deity, and Hermes, Hecate led me to Hermes. And that all led me down like a whole path that I'm so grateful for, because I feel like I've been learning so much in this past year that I just genuinely feel nothing but gratitude when I think of it, because someone wise one time said, life doesn't stop when you die. Life stops when you stop learning. And the beautiful thing is, if you play your cards right, you'll never stop learning. Even when you think you know everything, I guarantee you there's more to learn. There's more to discover. It's so insane. I used to think life was so miserable. But I'm not even kidding. I literally used to go on hikes and be like, man, this is whatever. I just saw no beauty in the world. Genuinely, it's insane. Because I think what I was missing at that point is not understanding how vast everything is. You know? I don't think there's anything that sets me apart from anyone. I don't think there's anything that sets us apart, really. Like, when you get down to the core of it, Aleister Crowley, he believed that every individual is a star. And I agree with that. I just really think that some people just choose to have their eyes closed. Because, truthfully, learning and changing and growing, it's uncomfortable. But, you know when you're a kid and your leg starts hurting because you're getting taller, you're getting growing pains? You probably don't remember that. Because now that you've grown up so much in life, you're a whole adult standing in front of me. You're a whole grown person standing in front of me. And you don't remember those growing pains that you had. But anytime that you're growing, it's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. You remember going through puberty? How crazy you were all the time? It's uncomfortable. Growing up is uncomfortable. And the same can be said for evolving and becoming a better version of yourself. It's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. Truthfully, it's so uncomfortable sometimes that you're in the process of it and you're like, God, I kind of just want it to be over, but at what point does it start getting a bit easier, you know? And you start asking yourself, but when you start asking questions like that, like, when is it gonna get easier? You're missing the whole point of it. It's not supposed to get easier. It's supposed to be hard. It's not a bad thing. You know, if you thought about the fact that, like, let's say, let me paint a picture, okay? You have your dream life. Everything's perfect. And you know what? Here's the catch. You had your dream life from the minute you came out of the womb. Everything has been perfect from the exact second that you have gotten a chance to live. You've never experienced one bad thing in your life. Not even once. My camera died. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So, you've never experienced one bad thing in your life. You don't know what bad is. You don't know what negativity is. Now, if you don't know what that is, then you literally are not able to know what good is. Now, this is going to be one of those moments where the ones that get it and the ones that don't. But the lips of wisdom are closed, except the ears of understanding. So, do with that what you will. Now, in order to understand what I'm about to say, you have to understand the law of, like, polarity. There's two sides to everything. It's hard to exactly say that there is one truth, because there's not. There's two sides to everything. Two extremes that you need to find the balance between. Now, when you think of it like that, love and hate are inherently the same emotion. And they're just the opposite sides of the spectrum. Good and bad, they're the same thing. They're the opposite sides of the spectrum. Now, in order, like, if you are going to believe that everything is black and white, and if you're going to say, I wish bad things did happen to me, you would not even know what good is. You wouldn't. I'm about to get vulnerable. I actually, like, as I'm looking you in the eye, I need you to understand when I say this to you, I have died so many times. I've had so many versions of me that I've had to kill off. And it's hard. There's been some versions of me that have been harder to break off. But I've had to die multiple times. And I know I'm gonna have to die again. I'm not scared of dying. I never have been and I never will be. I'm not scared of dying. Because the thing is, people always talk about this concept of I want to be my best self, I want to be reborn, I want to have everything I want. And you can't have a rebirth without a death. That doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. You can't have that. You want to become the best version of yourself, yet you're still living with those same old limiting beliefs and those concepts that other people tell you that you let define you. And it's so sickening because you think you keep asking, oh my God, why don't I have the things I want? Why don't I have everything that I'm dreaming of? Why don't I have it yet? You haven't become the person who's able to get those things. It's okay. It's not saying that you'll never become that person, but you have not become the person that is able to get the things that you want. And in order to change that, in order to shift that reality, you have to die. You have to kill your old self. And that's a spiritual thing, like not obviously literally, but you have to shed your old skin. The reason that snakes represent rebirth and life is because snakes shed. You have to shed. If you constantly just want to be who you are and who you think you are, and you're like, I don't want to change and I am who I am, that's okay. you do that. But cycles get repetitive. They get exhausting quick. There's so many times where I've literally just gotten bored. It's not that I'm bored of my life necessarily. I mean, in a way maybe. But I think I've just been bored of the repetitiveness of all of it. I've lost myself like so many times. But the thing is, I always come back to myself because I remember whenever I lose myself, I try to remember who I was before I let everything that everyone say to me define me, truthfully. Oh my God. You know, when I was a kid, people told me I talked so much and my voice is so annoying. They're so sick of hearing me. So, when I grew up, for years, I would not show my personality. I wouldn't. Because I was told my personality is annoying. I shouldn't share that part of myself. I wouldn't share the niche and esoteric parts of myself, because people told me, no one actually cares about that. So no one's gonna listen. I mean, you can try, but no one cares about it. I used to think people told me that some of the jokes I make are kind of stupid, I guess. Or maybe they don't make sense. So I stopped trying to be funny for a really long time. And I just let everyone else handle it. And I kind of lived in a shadow for years. Because I've had so many people tell me all the things that I am. But you don't know me. You know nothing about me. You don't know what you see. A fraction of me. You see what I show you. You see what I give to you. You know nothing about me. You don't know what my defining characters are. You don't know the thoughts that I have when I'm alone. You don't know the things that I care about that get me excited. You might know some of them, but you don't know me. So the things that you think about me should never get to define me. They should never get to define me. And even if you see me all day, every day, that still doesn't mean you know me, because you do not live inside my head. So you can have your opinions, and you can have your thoughts, and you can whatever. Because none of that defines me. None of it. I've gotten to a point now where it's like, if someone disrespects me, I am not going to waste my time and my energy explaining to you why that was disrespectful. You know better. You're a grown adult. You know better. You know why that was disrespectful. I don't need to explain it to you. What are you, a child? No. You know better. I don't need to explain to you what you did wrong. You know. And if you don't, then maybe do some reflecting. But truthfully, I don't need to sit there and justify myself until you understand my perspective. That's not gonna give me closure. You understanding me and what I feel and why I'm hurt isn't gonna, it's not gonna change anything for me. I'm still gonna feel disrespected. Even after you understand my perspective, I still felt disrespected. And so I've gotten to a point where it's just, I personally go out of my way, and this has always been a thing about me, I treat every single person the same exact way that I expect to be treated. I respect. Point blank period. Respect my time, respect my energy, respect my space, respect me, okay? Most specifically, respect my time. If my time is not respected, I actually But also, respect comes in a lot of different ways. disrespect also comes in a lot of ways. You acting as if you're better than me. No one's better than me. And no one's better than you. I need you to remember that. No one's better than you. No one. There's literally, just like I repeated earlier, every single person is a star. Every single person. I'm a firm believer in the philosophy of let them. Let them think what they want to think, let them say what they want to say, let them do what they want to do. That doesn't affect me. If I choose myself at every corner, if I choose myself at every turn, if I choose myself when it gets hard to choose myself, no one can take that away from me. If I believe in my core that I am who I am, you cannot change that perspective. The only time someone can change that perspective is if you let them. And it is a choice. It is a choice. I remember when it's really crazy. Sorry guys, this is gonna be a long video. This is like I don't know. This is like my favorite stuff in the world to talk about. But I remember when I was a kid, I was so depressed. I was literally so depressed. And it's actually why I ended up getting diagnosed with bipolar, which in the past year, my psychiatrist has come to the conclusion that that might have been a misdiagnosis, and hey, it's okay. You know what? We live and we learn. We figure these things out. Speak your truth on love. Anyways, I guess what I'm gonna finish this off on, because I don't remember what I was gonna say, so. And you know what? I'm a firm believer when you forget something that you were just about to say sometimes, that is your angels, your fates being like, hey. Sometimes you gotta walk in silence. You really do, you gotta walk in silence. That's something that took me so long to learn. But I think that's what I'm gonna finish off on. I adore you. Thank you for sitting here and talking to me and listening to me. I know I sound like a mad woman. I know I have. And just, you might be sitting here being like, that is the craziest woman I've ever seen. And hey, feeling that, thank you. Thanks. But ultimately, it's just that I'm happy. I'm really happy. Because choosing myself, believing in myself, and not letting what other people say or think of me dictate how I see myself has changed my life and given me everything I could possibly want. You know, and I mean, some of you might be like, yeah, you got a house, but it's an empty house. Okay, I'm still living in a house. It's still my house, you know? And yeah, it's weird, yeah, moving from a studio apartment to a 3-bedroom house. It's like that's a crazy 0 to 100, okay? But I'm building something. I'm building something that's mine. I'm building something that I love and I cherish. And I'm glad that I got to be able to share this bit of myself with you, even though there's, you know, I'm gonna probably like edit this and cringe, and for a split second I might not want to post it. But if you see this video, that means that I chose to do something that I preached. I chose not to think about what you're gonna think of this. I'm just speaking out my thoughts, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Blessed be.